This is Matt Hurt at Obsessive Viewer on Twitter.
This is Tiny at Obsessive Tiny on Twitter.
This is Mike, and you can find me at I am Mike White on Twitter.
And this is ObsessiveViewer.com's The Obsessive Viewer Podcast. Welcome to the latest episode of The Obsessive Viewer. We're a weekly movie and TV podcast that covers a specific topic, be it genre, trope, movie, or show. Each episode, you can find back episodes at ovpodcast.com. Check out the blog at obsessiveviewer.com. And also subscribe to the subreddit at r/obsessiveviewer. How's it going, guys?
Wonderful.
It's pretty good.
Very nice.
Sunburned. I have raccoon eyes.
Did you
notice?
A little bit. I was outside for like a few minutes yesterday, or not a few minutes, but I went to an event in Indianapolis on Saturday, and like the whole time I was like, it's really nice and sunny. And I'm like, I never go outside, so this will be nice to give me some color and everything. I got a sunburn on the back of my neck, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
So
got a redneck burn.
Yeah, I was just like, all right, cool.
I like that you said that it'll give me some color.
Exactly.
I won't look like a cave dweller.
I won't look like an obsessive viewer. So. Before we get started on this week's episode, I do want to make a couple announcements. First of all,
Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith are not divorcing.
They're not?
No.
I did not hear about that.
I thought that was the announcement you're going to make. I'm kidding.
No. Wait, are you kidding about them not divorcing?
They are not divorcing.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
Yeah.
I really don't care either way. But no, the announcements are that, as we've been saying, Shocktober in Irvington, October 16th. Find more information at shocktoberinirvington.com. We have a lot of fun stuff planned for the evening, so if you're in the Indianapolis area, come check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. And also, you may notice on the feed for Obsessive Viewer earlier this week, today, actually, Monday, the day that we're recording, I released the first episode of my solo side project podcast, Anthology. So hopefully you guys liked it, and hopefully when the podcast gets accepted onto iTunes, you will subscribe and check it out. For those not in the know, Anthology is a solo project that I started, and it's a podcast exploring science fiction anthology television during TV's golden age, starting with The Twilight Zone. So, having said that,
yes,
what did you guys think of Anthology?
TV's golden age, huh?
Yeah.
Is that a widely considered?
It's a widely used phrase,
isn't it?
Is it
like the 50s and 60s? I'm like 90% sure. I probably should have done my due diligence before I did all of the.
I don't think you're wrong.
Stuff for it. I don't think so either, because we're in like a new golden age of TV.
Yeah, I figured that. I don't know. I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just. I don't know.
Oh, well,
I think that's a common colloquialism.
Yeah, I'm sure it's me talking about the Twilight Zone, and I'm pretty sure, like in the first episode, for about half of it, I referred to Rod Serling as Rod Sterling, so I'm not above being corrected on my mistakes.
I've actually heard the first episode. You sent us a pre-screening.
I did. I wanted feedback from you on it.
Yes, and I'm excited for it. It was good.
Nice, thank you.
It was good.
That's what I was fishing for. Yeah. Anyway, so what we're doing this week is, if you guys remember, longtime listeners will know, episode 100, we did our fake movie game where we each put forth a title for a fake movie, and we basically pitched the plot for it. We kind of went around and kind of brainstormed a plot and synopsis and all that stuff. So this week we are doing something similar, but since it's the second time we're doing this game, we decided to do the fake sequel game. And, think about, to frame it this way, if you think about it, like, say, The Terminator and Alien. Both movies were, like, Alien was a horror movie, And the Terminator was a sci-fi action thriller, kind of like a slasher kind of dressing for it. And then they both each had sequels that were different. So Aliens was more of an action war movie kind of thing, and T2 was more like an action chase movie, basically. Following that line of logic for this fake sequel game, what we're doing is we're basically taking a movie that doesn't have a sequel. I don't think you guys have any of that are franchised, but we're taking a movie.
But there were times I considered doing like a part 4 or part 5.
I kind of,
One of mine is.
Oh, nice.
Sorry.
Well, then there we go.
That's the thing.
Fine.
Like I was telling you guys before we started recording, I really struggled to find a third movie because like damn near every movie has a sequel.
Yeah.
And I was kind of at a loss, but so it's no problem. But what we're doing to kind of put a spin on it is we're going to, each time we put forth a title, we each have subtitles for the sequels that we're making up, and we're going to assign a different genre than what the original was. So that'll probably spice things up a bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Did I not mention that?
Yeah,
no,
I didn't know that either.
That's fine.
Oh crap! Okay, I think I mentioned it, but I think it was like in a wall of text. So
Yeah, you might have. I don't know.
So anyway, guys,
all right.
we're gonna switch
That's
up the
all right.
genres a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much like the fake movie game, I'm kind of not nervous, but I'm kind of like, this is uncharted territory for us. So, who wants to go first?
I can go first.
Do you want to go first?
Sure, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
I was gonna say I'd love to, but really, the fun is not saying your movie. The fun is riffing.
Yes.
Right.
So I want to go first, and that Tiny give us a movie. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Oh.
And I think you're both gonna love this one.
Okay. And but real quick, when we say the movie, just for sake of listeners and everything, give like a really brief, like elevator pitch summary of the plot of the original movie, just so people can have some context for it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. My first one does jump genres, so this will be
Nice.
It also jumps ship, and that's because it is Titanic 2: Barnacles from Hell.
Barnacles from Hell. Okay.
What is it? Barnacle what?
Barnacles from Hell.
Okay, Barnacles from Hell. Gotcha.
Obviously, I think everybody knows what Titanic is. You know,
Right.
The James Cameron movie from 1997, where Leo DiCaprio falls in love with Kate Winslet
After 3 days.
After 3 days on the ship, and it sinks, and it's too long, and yeah.
Yeah. James Cameron.
Did we really just shit on Titanic? I love Titanic.
Oh, I like it too. I actually kind of love it too, but it has many flaws.
It's one of the more palatable of James Cameron's work for me.
Gotcha.
Not a James Cameron fan. So, all right.
Well, Barnacles from Hell is undoubtedly a horror thriller,
Yes.
right?
Oh yeah. So would it be a period piece, or will we push it into the present day?
I guess that's up to us. I don't think we push it. No, it's not. It's not like the John. Is it John Paxton?
Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
God damn it.
Billy
I
Pax.
keep thinking like John Saxon.
Oh yeah.
Anyway. Yeah. So Bill Paxton. It's not like that. It's not 90s present day. And
Right.
Obviously, it's not now present day. But it's in like. Let's see. Titanic sank in 1912. So it's like 30 years later, right? It's 1942.
Okay.
So we're out of the Depression.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And Kate Winslet, Rose, returns to the spot of the devastation. We didn't actually find this out in the original Titanic, but obviously we know she was still alive. So what's interesting about this movie is that it's going to fill in some of the blanks and why she kind of tried to come out again as Rose Dawson, but was kind of afraid because of the events from Barnacles from Hell.
Okay. So that's why she receded into kind of hiding her identity a bit, I guess.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And if I could jump off of that for a bit, I say that she goes back because she's about to remarry. She's about to marry the guy that she was married to, the future Rose was married to. Like, she ended up having a life. Spoiler alert for
Right.
Titanic. But So she's about to marry this guy, and she decides to go back to the spot where the Titanic sank, just to kind of visiting Jack's grave.
Yeah. Closure.
Yeah,
exactly.
Because she's rich as hell,
Right.
So she can go back to that spot, and kind of do that. And then chaos ensues. What happens? Tiny, do you want to jump in on this, or
Is he allowed to? I don't know how this go. How does it? Is this how this game works?
I think let's call an audible here. Should we let the titlee give input, or just do our own thing?
I would think your own thing because I've had time to think about it and I kind of know what direction I'd want it to go.
Okay.
So it's kind of cheating.
Good deal.
But when you guys are done, I'll throw in what I had in mind.
Okay.
I like that. Okay.
So she returns to the scene of the incident.
First of all, what's a barnacle?
A barnacle is like it's a living thing, but it's like the little things that it's kind of like snail shells that grow on the side of your boat.
Okay.
It's coral. But it's kind of like coral. It grows on ships and stuff.
Okay,
Right.
I plead ignorance because I've heard the word, I know the word and everything, but I'm always kind of just dumb about what it was. So
Right.
we learned something here on the Obsessive Viewer.
Yeah.
So she returns to the sinking of the Titanic, to the area in the sea.
Mm-hmm. Because would you say that she is has like a what's the word I'm looking for? Like an adrenaline rush kind of thing, an adrenaline junkie. Now that she's survived one of the greatest catastrophes in history, so she wants.
She
to kinda
does.
go.
It's nothing has been the same since.
Yeah.
Love has not been the same. Adventure has not been the same, and so she wants to get into a little adventure. And of course, she finds adventure in Barnacles from Hell.
Okay.
So the barnacles on the bottom of this boat are communicating with the barnacles that have begun to grow on the Titanic.
Nice.
Yeah. Which are controlled by the ghosts of the deceased from the sunk Titanic. And so they begin to take over the boat.
Okay.
It's a creature feature.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So do these do like the ghosts of the deceased? Do they have like apparitions on the ship? And what side? Like, is she on a replica of the Titanic, or is this like a kind of
No.
Okay.
No, it's a much smaller,
like a yacht, basically?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Safer, smaller, safer, and so I think the ghosts. Well, what it is it seems like the barnacles are the things taking over the ships, but really barnacles are barnacles. They're possessed by the spirits of the deceased from.
Well, naturally,
They're just a vessel.
yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The question is, does she see Jack by the end of the movie?
I would say yes, and also
I think she has to. Right?
Yeah, I think he's the lone spirit that's like all not cool with possessing the barnacles, and she needs to find him to release her new love and her new ship from the control of the barnacles as they're trying to drag them down into the bottom of the ocean. And
he saves the day.
Also,
exactly right.
yeah. And can we make the inciting incident, like the big moment where we realize that something is going down, be okay? You guys remember in Spider-Man 2 when Mary Jane was like engaged to J. Jonah Jameson's son?
Yeah, that's the third one.
Is it?
That's the third one, yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, where they're engaged.
No, you're right. It is the second one.
It was the second.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
it was
I-
the second one.
She comes back.
Yeah, because there's that scene where where Peter Parker is photographing the ball and Dashboard Confessional's playing. But anyway, there's a scene where she and him are kind of goofing off and stuff, and then she tries to replicate the kiss, the upside down kiss from the first movie, and then he's all like, "Oh, dude, what are you doing?" The inciting incident of Titanic 2: Barnacles from Hell is Rose is trying to recreate the "I'm King of the World" scene with her new bow, and then that's when they realize like the barnacles are. What do the barnacles do? Do they clamber up into the ship and attack people like the face huggers and
They're
Alien?
like face huggers. Yes.
Okay, I like that.
Nice.
So, does Rose's new man survive, or does he die?
Well, ultimately, he's a good man, and ultimately, the climax of the film is that Leo, the ghost of Leo's character Jack, accepts that this man is at least good enough for Rose.
Is banging his girl. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Nice. So, is that it? Do we have any more things to hammer out?
I think that's good.
Or should we take this to the executive who pitched the title?
Yeah.
Executive.
So, Tiny, we have a movie. What do you think?
Did we get funding?
Pretty good. I think so.
Nice.
In my head, I was envisioning it involved a couple different plot scenarios, but they all involved the reanimated corpses of the dead people from Titanic, and they were covered in barnacles because they had been on the ocean floor, of course.
Ah.
And my favorite one is that they just try to take revenge on the White Star Line company, which is funny because I think they went under within a couple of years of Titanic for obvious reasons.
It went under.
They went under.
God damn it.
They just really sank that company.
Oh, God damn it.
Yeah.
That's horrible.
But another one, another scenario is that the reanimated corpse of Jack Dawson comes after the diamond, and it all takes place on the side story of James Cameron's Titanic, where the reason she drops the diamond into the ocean is to keep the reanimated corpses from attacking the whole ship and killing everyone. But we just don't see that in James Cameron's version.
Nice.
So really, she was just insane, or she was just really scared.
Right.
That's why she dropped it in there.
I like that. There's a hidden
good.
horror
Yeah, I
movie
like
there.
that.
Do you guys remember that YouTube video that was basically Jack Dawson is like, they discover his body and he's frozen, and then he gets thawed out in present day. And then they cut a whole trailer with just a bunch of different scenes from different Leo movies that makes it look like it's Jack Dawson trying to survive in modern day New York, and it's really funny. I'll dig it up and throw it in the show notes, but it's pretty funny.
Nice.
Let's see, who should go next, Mike or me?
I choose Mike.
I'll go.
I choose
Okay.
Mike.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tiny.
Well, he hasn't been here in a while.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Oh, man. I have some fun ones. I'm trying to figure out what order I want to do these in. Okay. This is a 1990s set sequel. I guess it would be late 1990s set sequel to the film version of Rent called Rent to the Streets.
Rent to the Streets.
Ooh.
Before we get started,
Did you guys see Rent? Are you familiar with Rent?
Oh,
If
yeah.
you're not, okay.
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, I own it.
It's a good movie.
I actually saw it with
It is
with
good.
you,
I really
Mike.
like it a lot.
Yeah. Rent to the Streets. Tiny. Should this be a meld of Rent and Step Up 2?
Yeah. I was thinking.
Wait, first let's hammer down genre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um.
And Mike, do you want to give a brief rundown of the plot of Rent for the two people that don't know it?
Yeah, Rent is originally a stage musical set in the height of the
AIDS epidemic.
The AIDS epidemic in the late 1980s. The cast consists of, I don't know the number, 6 to 8, it's something like 8 friends who are afflicted by the disease in various ways, and it's about their relationships, and it's basically about a year in the life of all of these characters.
Or 525,600
minutes.
So, Tiny, fun family romp?
I was thinking like.
Remember, we need to switch the genre.
Right. I was thinking like espionage thriller. Because they find out that someone actually has a cure for AIDS, but they're not producing it because it's the classic big pharma conspiracy you hear about, where they have cures to all these awful diseases, but they don't produce them because they make more money selling things that just make them just treat the symptoms. That classic conspiracy.
Right.
And so it's about I don't know. One of the main characters, let's say Anthony Rapp, who's the blonde guy who shoots the documentary throughout it.
Yeah.
He's on a bicycle a lot, I guess.
Is he-
His girlfriend goes lesbian.
Yes, yes.
I don't remember the character's name.
Mike, do you have a name for Anthony Rapp's character?
I believe that's the actor's name. I think it's Anthony Rapp.
Anthony Rapp is the actor. Actor's name.
He was in the stage play as well.
The only one I can remember the name of is Maureen.
Maureen is his girl
Yeah.
friend.
And then
Or no, Maureen is the girlfriend. Is his former girlfriend.
right, the kind of bitchy
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. Idina Menzel.
Idina
Is
Menzel.
that her?
Yep.
Oh wow.
Uh-huh.
Adele doesn't-
Mark Cohen.
Mark Cohen.
Mark Cohen.
Okay, so should we say that Mark Cohen is on a crusade to document, like to create this this documentary exposing Big Pharma
I think he goes undercover
on the
and it's-
streets?
I think it's like it's kind of like a gosh, what's it called? Oh man, like business espionage. What's it called? Like where one person works for a company and they go undercover for another company, their competitor, to try to take them down from within. What is that called?
Corporate espionage.
Corporate espionage. I think
Is
that's
it?
what it is. Yeah,
Okay.
corporate espionage. So like he tries to infiltrate the pharmacological company that has the cure for AIDS, and he's trying to steal it and bring it to another company, maybe in Europe or something, where they'll produce it and save his friends.
The big conflict of the movie is that once he infiltrates the corporation, he realizes he makes a lot of really good money and he can afford to pay rent. So he's conflicted on whether or not he should move forward or
Oh my god!
or abandon his bohemian lifestyle kind of thing from the first movie and just pay rent.
He's like $100,650.
Right.
How do you measure a salary? Oh my
Oh,
god!
that is awesome.
Really good.
So, okay, so we've got the conflict, we've got the setup. Let's see. It will be a musical act, correct?
Okay. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're flipping genres, but we need to keep the essence. Much like Titanic 2 kept the essence of
Right.
Dead Leo DiCaprio. So let's see. Mike, that one character, the one guy, is it Jones? The guy that gets beat up?
Collins.
There you go. So Collins is, let's see. He what is the relationship between Collins and Mark Cohen? Or no, wait. Okay.
They were roommates.
They've been friends for a while. Were they roommates?
I think they were roommates in the
I
movie.
think so.
Well, he
then
and Roger,
Collins-
Mark and Roger are roommates. I don't know that. I don't think Collins necessarily lives with them.
Okay, I
Didn't
think you're right.
Collins get like a big job or something, and then he was kind of ostracized from their little
Collins is a
bohemians?
teacher.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, are you thinking of?
You're thinking of Tay Diggs.
You're thinking of Benny, Tay Diggs.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Tay Diggs was ostracized from them because he got a big job with
He
corporate.
sold out.
Yeah, he sold out. And then at the end of the first movie, spoiler alert, did he kind of embrace his roots in their lifestyle, or did he kind of stay the same or help them, or what was it?
He kind of stayed the same.
He didn't
Okay.
change much.
Yeah, he really didn't.
Okay. Well, let's see.
Was he at Angel's funeral?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. It's been so long since I've seen this movie. Like back when we were at USI.
Yeah.
So let's say that Maureen, Mark's ex-girlfriend, is working for Big Pharma. Let's just throw that out there. I guess, I don't know. Should there be a love story in this movie, Tiny?
There can't not be, really.
Right.
There has to be something. I was thinking that the CEO of the evil pharmacological corporation is one of Colin's former students, like a protege.
Nice.
And so there's some conflict there because Mark Cohen and Collins are buddies, but Colin's like, no, this is my protege. You're not going to screw him over or whatever. I don't know.
Okay.
That doesn't make sense, though, really. because-
So at the end of the day, should we just say that the major conflict of the movie is solved with a big musical number?
Oh, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who should write the lyrics to it? Can it be a Kanye song?
I think it is a Kanye
It
song.
is the
Yes.
Streets. THA Streets.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Okay, so is there anything else we need to delve into with this, or do we have kind of a movie here?
We have kind of a movie. It's not very good.
Okay, should we pitch it to the executive?
Yeah.
Mike. Rent to
Well, I gotta
the
say,
streets.
boys, it's not what I had in mind.
What did you have in mind?
Well, I think I wrote my initial treatment before I knew that we had to switch up genres. So I pitched it to myself. I wrote it as whatever happened in the events of the first one are not successful, so they're living literally on the streets now.
Okay.
But I think we can take some elements of what you have as long as we keep in mind that they are on hard times, and that's what this sucker's about. That's what the kids want to see.
Yes. So, how do you feel about our movie pitch?
I'm gonna pass on it.
I'd pass on it too.
Fair enough.
I think we need to go back to the drawing board on this one, guys.
Yeah, probably.
All
We
right,
got a killer name. We got a few colonels. Guys, we don't even remember the character names.
I know.
Yeah.
Let's go back to the drawing board.
It can be a direct-to-DVD sequel where they just dance instead of sing.
Yeah, I say pass on this one.
Okay.
Matt, pitch us something.
All right, so this movie, in terms of genre flipping, I may be leading you guys into something here, but okay, I'll just say it. Accepted to the South Harmon Massacre.
Oh my god. Wow.
Romantic comedy?
Bear in mind, Accepted is a mid to late 2000s comedy about Justin Long's Barnaby, who creates a fake college in a world where community college does not exist, and he eventually gets it accredited, and it becomes a real college, the South Harmon Institute of Technology. So, what do you guys got for me?
Also, kind of, I don't want to say his big break, but it was kind of our introduction to Jonah Hill.
Yeah,
A little bit.
At least
true.
mine.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's true. Oscar
So,
nominated.
okay, what's the massacre? What?
The South Harmon Massacre.
Wow.
South Harmon being the name of the college.
Wow. I'm thinking something having to do with the fact that the college their main facility is a former insane asylum.
Yeah.
So something about like the former patients of the hospital want their hospital back. I don't know why they would, because they probably didn't have a good time there.
Well, they
It's falling apart. I'm falling apart.
they moved the graves, but it turns out they actually only moved the headstones.
Yeah, and they put the football field over it.
Yeah. Man, I don't want to go the obvious route because this is clearly a slasher.
Okay, yeah,
And
that's true.
you know what I mean? That, of course, that's my inclination, but I don't want it to have to be that, but I feel like that's where it's going.
Well, there's a massacre, so I mean, it has to be a slasher.
I think it does.
Yeah.
Okay, so who was in it? We got to get some characters.
There was Justin Long, his love interest.
By the way, I just IMDb'd it, and the first thing I typed in was Massacre.
Nice.
That's funny.
Justin Long, Blake Lively was his love interest.
Oh yeah,
Jonah
Columbus Short. Whatever happened to that guy?
Yeah, he's done a lot.
He was super up and coming.
Yeah.
Which one was he? Was he the football?
Yeah.
guy?
He's the football guy. His friend from high school.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I would think that Barnaby, was that his name?
Mm-hmm.
He becomes the dean of the school, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
And
Does he usurp Lewis Black?
I guess it depends on
Remember,
how far in the future we are. I don't know. I was thinking he becomes the dean, and then Columbus Short becomes the head football coach, and Blake Lively teaches photography or something because she wanted to be a photographer. I don't know. And So those are the characters that are still there. Maybe Jonah Hill is a professor of some kind. I don't know. Those are the characters involved.
Okay, here we go. What if we have a weird sci-fi crossover movie with Superbad where Jonah Hill plays both, his name is Sherman, and Evan from Superbad. Okay?
Okay.
And so Evan, is it Seth? Which one's Seth and which one's Evan?
I think he's Seth.
He's Seth.
He's Seth. Okay. So Seth, he left behind by Evan, decides to enroll in South Harmon, and he is freaked out to find that a heavier doppelganger attends that school. Okay. And so it's a comedy slasher. Okay, we're still keeping the tone of the first one, but the meetup of these Jonah Hill characters, Seth and Sherman, is of course catastrophic. And so the Massacre is in reference to the death that is left in their wake as these two duke it out.
Nice.
There can be only one kind of thing.
Okay. There could be only one chubby friend.
Exactly.
Chubby funny friend.
Exactly.
I like it.
You know, and the ship has kind of sailed on Justin Long, so it's a Jonah Hill feature.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Emma Stone doesn't return.
Does Blake Lively?
Blake Lively's back.
Thank you. She's pretty.
Columbus Short is back.
Nice. Okay.
Nice. Anything more you guys need, or do you want to pitch it to me?
I think. How does it end?
Where does the climax take place?
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know. Maybe on the skateboard ramp they built in the first movie.
I think so.
The half pipe, I guess that's what it's called.
I think so, yeah. Well, there's another, yeah. It starts on the half pipe.
Okay.
And then there's another high school party that they're going to go to, but they're too old for this high school party. You know, like Knocked Up.
Okay.
Or not Knocked Up, Superbad.
Right. I was thinking it was something. I just picture like a Dragon Ball Z style fight at the end. I don't know why.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
I didn't even watch Dragon Ball Z, but
Jeez.
oh man,
You get the gist.
yeah. So yeah, what do you think, Executive?
All right. Well, I think you guys got something there. I like the sci-fi twist of having two Jonah Hill characters from two universes duke it out.
Thank you.
That was very clever. I like that. What I had in mind going, like, it's funny because what I had in mind was just like, a massacre in the universe of like a kind of slasher massacre at South Harmon Institute of Technology, which isn't a very inventive premise in any respect. I think I would have made the killer be what's his name? What's the character's name? Something Darwin Dunlap.
Abernathy Darwin Dunlap.
Abernathy Darwin Dunlap.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of a kooky character.
Yeah.
But I will say that Tiny, when you brought up the did you bring up the mental patients wanted their hospital back.
Yeah.
That got the gears turning, that it would be a movie about how they find out that it's a haunted, that like the kind of like did you guys ever see the movie Session 8?
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
I did not.
Okay, well, it's about an asbestos removal crew working in a rundown insane asylum removing asbestos, and they kind of become, it's like they figure out it's haunted, and they kind of really screws with their heads and stuff. It's very, very atmospheric and creepy. So apply that to Accepted, and that's what I was working with. But I think we got something there. With what you guys pitched. Question about it: which Jonah Hill prevails in this at the end of this movie.
Damn.
Oh man. I want to say Seth. I mean, my vote is Seth.
Yeah, probably.
But as the great Stan Lee said, nobody ever wins in these things, right? So they can do another one if they want to.
Right.
Yeah, everybody's happy.
True.
Yeah.
Nice.
Huh.
Okay, my pick would have been for Sherman because he's a much more likable character. Seth is very vulgar and
Yeah, I guess that's true.
yeah,
True.
But, so all right, well that's accepted too. The South Harmon Massacre.
Nice.
Very interesting. So Tiny.
Yes, my next selection is titled "To Forrest, to Gump."
God damn it. Okay.
Well, we can do anything with this one, man.
Yeah. My initial thought just really, do we want to do a Haley Joel Osment, Forrest Gump Jr. grows up and becomes a street racer?
Yes.
Clearly that is what happens. I mean, if we did anything else with that title, I think people would stop listening to the podcast.
Right. Okay.
Yes, Haley Joel Osment, Forrest Gump Jr. wakes up, grows up, and he becomes a street racer. and so he gets in a lot of street races early on in the movie, but he loses a big one, and he realizes that his problem was that he lost himself along the way, and he lost kind of his father's values along the way. Mm-hmm. So what he has to do is take a road trip across the country. And of course the line is, from that day forward, if I was going somewhere, I was driving.
Thank you so much. I was thinking the exact same
that
line.
is so beautiful. Nice. So on this cross-country road trip, do we carry on the essence of Forrest Gump, and do we have him drive through notable instances in history while being completely
From
oblivious?
1991 to 2015?
Yes. I don't know what all he could drive through in that time frame.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Can I interject?
I'll allow it, yes.
Okay, I was going to say, I think it should be the opposite of the original Forrest Gump, whereas he stumbles through all these huge events and his life turns into like a happy accident. I would say this kid, because obviously his dad had stock in Apple, so he's like super into Bubba Gump Shrimp Company. He's stupid rich, has an amazing, awesome, incredible life, and because he gets into street racing, his life takes downturns as he stumbles through life. He gets shit on, and his life gets ruined. And like his dad always says, life is like a box of spark plugs. You never know what you're gonna gap, because you have to gap a spark plug.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Speedway spark plugs.
Gearhead joke.
Okay. So
that was really dumb.
It wasn't smart.
But anyway,
Just kidding. Anyway, so
we did neglect the fact that he's probably rich.
Yes,
Yeah.
I did not think of that. So he's got a let's see. How about he finds out that his father fought in Vietnam, and he is searching for something.
Well, he wants to know his mother. He wants to get to know his mother, because his mother died
yes.
very young.
Jenny.
And so
He's going to be so disappointed.
She's awful. Jenny's awful.
Right.
And that's, I think, kind of what he finds along the way. And he finds that, his home is with Forrest, his father.
Yeah, he has to go on the cross country road trip because anytime he searches for like information online about his mother, he nothing comes up because he keeps typing in Jenny instead of Jenny.
Oh my god! Shut up!
I'm laughing way too hard at that.
Jenny.
Okay, so he's driving cross country because he finds out that I can't remember. Did Jenny's dad die?
Yeah.
Well, surely Jenny's dad's dead by now.
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. He finds out that... Did she have a sister or anything?
I don't remember.
No, probably not.
He's going back to... He's traveling across the country on a journey back to going through like all the stuff that she went through and kind of seeing all the places that she went. And the final destination is her own house, like her old house. And like he wants this cathartic moment where he burns it to the ground.
Well, that kind of happens in the first movie.
Damn it! I don't remember Forrest Gump that well.
Really? Yeah, I remember him bulldozing her childhood home.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
So he, I got nothing. While driving through Washington D.C., he somehow accidentally tips the hat on or tips off everything that happened with the Monica Lewinsky scandal. I don't know how, but
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Wait a second. So he's like 12 while this is happening.
Yeah, yeah. Like he would just notice like, oh, that's stained. Like he would just be like kind of
He'd be on a White House tour.
yeah. He'd just be like,
There you
oh,
go.
Notice
Okay.
the stained dress.
yeah,
But isn't he a street racer?
Not when he's 12.
yeah. Damn it.
I don't know.
So how old? Okay, that movie came out.
So
in the
street
90s.
racer is... Yeah, no, we got to stick with the street racer because
Yeah.
it's too...
So it has to
What?
be farther in the future. How old would
guess.
he be now?
I think we have to... let's say he's 8 in 1991,
Okay.
right? He looks like an 8-year-old. He's starting
Sure.
school.
How old is Haley Joel Osment right now? He's like in his 20s or
26,
Mid-20s?
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
25.
okay.
Mid-20s.
So let's go 2002 to present day is his street racer time. Wait, how old would he be? What year would he have gotten his license? I can't math. Like 2005.
If he was 8 in 1991, 1999, he would have gotten his.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's driving his way through the early aughts and the early.
And I
20s.
know we feel like we need to do the events throughout history, but
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Are we forcing that into this bitchin' race movie, or
I think
you know
so.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think so.
True.
We can
Very
just
true.
have like a montage of him. Okay, he's cursed. Like that's why he's driving across country, because he's trying to get away from his father, because like Forrest has this weird pull where like he is like it's this curse where he's automatically around historical events. And after oh my god, I just thought of something terrible. Oh god.
9/11, right?
Yep. After 9/11, Haley Joel Osment's like, I'm getting out of here. I can't be around you anymore. I need to go my own way because horrible things are happening. I ruined this intern at the White House's life because you took me on a trip to see the White House, and now 9/11's happened. I can't be around you. So he's driving across country to get away from Forrest, who is running after him to find him again.
That's funny.
Yeah. What do you think of that, Mike?
I think we're all over the place.
Yeah.
We are. Yeah.
I think
Pull it back in a little bit. We've
Okay.
taken a long walk from two Gump, two Forrest. What is it?
Two Forrest,
Forrest,
two Gump.
Too fast, two Forrest.
Two Forrest, two Gump.
Two Forrest, two Gump. Okay.
I would say he's just rebellious because his father was overly possessive, because everyone his father ever loved died, except for Lieutenant Dan, maybe. But like his mom died, Jenny died. Sad. Spoiler
Yeah.
alert, obviously.
That's moving a little far away from the kick-ass road trip movie, Tiny.
Well, no, but he turns his rebelliousness into being a street racer, and
Okay.
he gets on the street racer circuit. It'd be kind of like Need for Speed, but with Forrest Gump Jr.
A plot. That's not even fair. I haven't even seen Need for Speed.
Something like that.
Okay, I kind of like this escaping historical events thing. I don't know.
Escaping them?
Escaping them, yeah. Like
Okay. So maybe this thing, I think we're going to have to push this thing 30 years. I think this comes out in 2030 or 2035.
Yeah.
really? Okay.
In order to get enough events.
Well, I'm just saying that the inciting incident would be that he is fed up with, or sped up.
Jesus.
He's fed up with Forrest being around Forrest. Like that. That's what I was talking about. That Forrest is a vortex of historical events surrounds him.
Right.
And that he's trying to escape. He's trying to leave the nest, but Forrest is attached to him because he's the only thing that he has left in his life. But anytime he's around him, he's stumbling across these historical events. Little Forrest, Haley Joel Osment just wants to live his life. He's at the center of all these historical events. Now we're in the age of Twitter, viral videos and stuff. He's popping up all over the place. The CIA is going after him, and Homeland Security is trying to figure out why he's at the epicenter of all of these events. And he's just trying to escape it through the only way he knows how is driving.
Yes.
That's my thought. Mike, what do you think?
I think, yeah.
I picture
I
Forrest.
don't know. I feel like we have so many parts.
Yeah.
I picture Forrest Senior running at the Boston Marathon in 2013 because he loves to run. You know.
He does.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oof. Oof.
And then Forrest Jr.'s like, it always happens around you. What's wrong with you, Dad? Whew. He's like, it's okay, Forrest. Let's get some chocolate. Let's get some chocolate.
I think we should just close this one out then.
Yeah, this is a rough one.
Yeah. Executive, what do you think?
I would buy the Kick-Ass Street Racer movie starring Forrest Gump Jr. I'd buy it. I mean, I'd go see it.
Okay.
I'll give you guys $40 million. It's not a lot these days.
That's like Tokyo Drift money. We can get it. Well, Haley Joel Osment won't be that expensive. So.
No, not so much.
Okay. All right. Well, fair enough. Mike, is it your turn?
It is my turn.
Yeah.
I think this is a natural sequel to a movie that I used to love, but in the last couple of years I've grown to hate because of one of the main characters. And I would really, really like to see this movie. It's called Ferris Bueller 2, Cameron's Revenge.
Ooh,
nice.
Ooh, I almost picked Ferris Bueller 2, because I kept thinking of that Super Bowl commercial. So Tiny, let's hammer down a genre. Cameron's Revenge at the end of the first Ferris Bueller's Day Off, at the end of the first movie, spoilers everyone, Cameron's dad's car is destroyed. Mm-hmm. So Cameron's Revenge would be the sequel.
I think it would be like I don't think it would be horror. I think it would be like thriller. Mm-hmm. And it would be like Cameron. It'd be like a mashup of Ferris Bueller's Day Off and the movie Collateral, where Cameron's like Tom Cruise, and he forces Ferris to take a day off from work, and in the process, just brings his whole world crashing down. Like
it would be like a reversal.
Yes, he makes him watch from the car while Cameron sleeps with his wife and ruins his marriage.
Oh my God. This is awesome. It makes me so happy.
And he
is his wife Mia Sara from the first movie?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. And what else does he do? He probably he would do something to his kids.
Jesus Christ.
Which is just awful. Like just to get his kids expelled from school or something.
Okay.
Like pull a huge prank at the school, but leave his son's fingerprints at the crime scene.
Yes.
Something like that,
like
and get his son expelled.
Holy crap. Okay, so is this present day then? Or this would be probably maybe 10 years in the past, I would think.
Yeah, something like that.
10 or so that it's
his kids would be
the 90s.
His kids would be the same age they were in the first movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Cameron would do something to screw up his son's college transcripts so he doesn't get into college. Something like that.
So Cameron's on a revenge kick.
Yes.
And he's trying to ruin Ferris's life because at the end of the first movie, what we didn't see was that Cameron's dad mercilessly beat him for several years.
Yes.
And he never got over it. And like if you think of the scene in the first movie where he's catatonic because he's freaking out, it's like that was the rest of his teenage years was just that kind of catatonic state where all he thought about was Ferris Bueller's girlfriend naked, and also Ferris and how he ruined his life. So he's been building this up for couple decades probably. And so he makes him watch him have sex with his wife from a car. It's Chicago. It'd still be based in Chicago,
of course.
Let's see, something about the parade. There would have to be a parade, a callback to that, but it would have to be. Oh, it would be. Okay. Cameron has taken one of Ferris's kids.
Okay.
And he's forcing Ferris to recreate their day off.
Yes.
And he has to go through the parade and he has to sing, twist, and shout. But this is, and I hate, oh my God, I don't want to make this comparison, but it's a post Boston Marathon bombing world. So he can't just run up onto a float and start singing and dancing.
Yeah.
So there's very strict security in place. So he's essentially he's escaping. Like, it reaches a point where he's escaping from the authorities while chasing after Cameron, who has his kid.
Mm-hmm.
And where does this culminate? Where does
the climax? The climax is this is dark. Before we get to before we come to the characters where they are now, we find out in the end that before all this, Cameron had been using social media and other various forms of identity theft to make Ferris Bueller look like a Muslim, like he converted to Islam.
Okay.
And he makes him he forces him, with both of them in the car, to crash a vehicle full of explosives into the Sears Tower. And the vehicle is a 60s Porsche, just like his dad's. They steal the first one. And so Ferris Bueller goes down in history as a Islamic terrorist.
Wow.
That is so dark.
That is.
It's actually I kind of stole the ending from the movie Arlington Road.
Oh, is that how that happens?
Sort of, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically that's what happens.
I don't think we really need the Muslim thing, but
Just a terrorist.
Yeah.
Maybe like an anti-government terrorist, whatever.
Yeah,
It doesn't have to be Muslim, but whatever.
Yeah.
That's just an example.
I like the idea of the terrorism. Because he kind of is a terrorist. He is a social terrorist.
He is. He's, I kind of want to watch Arlington Road now, but
That's a decent movie.
Nice. Let's see. Yeah.
It's dark.
Yeah.
Very dark thriller.
He orchestrates things so Ferris drives into the Sears Tower.
Yeah.
And so what happens to Ferris's wife and his kids?
Cameron ends up with him and becomes their stepfather.
Jesus Christ, Tony. Wow.
I know.
Okay.
I took that really dark.
The most important part of it, though, does Ferris lose his job?
I'm sure they're quick to disown the companies.
Right.
Quick to disown him.
Whew.
After, the terrorism stuff.
I think we got a movie. I will say that his job should be that he's the sausage king of Chicago. Like, that should be his job. Isn't that
Sausage King?
Wasn't that part of the movie?
I don't remember. I haven't seen it in so long.
What's that?
The Sausage King of Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just a minor thing is that Ferris is now the Sausage King of Chicago.
Okay.
Yeah, that's just his job.
Okay.
And that part of like a little thing on little icing on the cake is that now Cameron gets to be the Sausage King of Chicago.
Gotcha.
Yes. While also exacting revenge.
Wow, that was a barrel.
Yeah.
That was a barrel of laughs.
Yeah. What was the title again? Ferris Bueller.
2, Cameron's Revenge.
Cameron's Revenge. Okay, yes. Ferris Bueller's Day Off 2, Cameron's Revenge. That's holy crap. Let's take it to the studio exec. Mike, what do you think?
I love it, guys. It's exactly what I was hoping for. Yeah. I was particularly fond of the idea that he makes Ferris's kids relive the events. Sold for sure.
I really want to see this movie. Oh, wow.
Well, write it and we'll pitch it.
Yeah.
Matthew Broderick doesn't do a lot anymore.
He doesn't. Yeah, wow.
Wow.
And wow, yeah. All right, so is it my turn now?
Yes, sir.
All right, and we're gonna have to kind of go a little quick here, but
Oh yeah.
This one I'm not okay. The Truman Show 2 Sweeps Week.
Jesus Christ.
Now remember, The Truman Show was a comedy drama about a guy that wasn't aware that he lived his life, that his entire life was being documented for a reality TV show. Really great movie. It ends with him, spoiler alert, leaving the set and finding his lost love who was exiled from his life. But it leaves on the note that he is the most recognizable person on the planet and will always be the most recognizable person on the planet. And now we go to the sequel. What do you guys got for me?
So he has to balance the fact that he is the most recognizable person on the planet with the fact that while he was sleeping, living on the Truman Show back in the constructed set, what he thought was his home, they actually, what are we going to call it, harvested his sperm, and so his wife on the show is actually pregnant with his child.
Wow.
Wow.
And so that's their big ratings get, is that they entice Truman to come back onto the show to to retrieve his child, his illegitimate child.
So what genre would this be?
It's a thriller.
I was going to go sci-fi. And
Okay.
he breaks out of the big dome that is the set to discover that the entire planet Earth is actually a big set for an alien race who watches us all as a TV show.
Discuss it amongst yourselves.
Mind blown.
That's yeah. That's a long walk from the first one.
Is it though? Yeah, it is. It is. Wow.
Sweeps week.
Sweeps week. And the aliens are deciding whether or not to keep the show on the air, in quotes, meaning...
So say it again. So the aliens...
He finds out that the planet Earth is actually
the whole world is a show for aliens.
It's a set. It's a movie. It's a TV show set that aliens built, and they created humankind and put us on planet Earth, and they watch us like a television show.
I think yours is better. Let's go with yours.
Well, and of course, this is about they decide that they decide that the show is getting boring and they want to cancel it. Hence, Sweeps Week, and
right.
So Truman has to work with the alien overlord who lives on planet Earth, and he's like the executive producer. He's like the showrunner. He's like the Vince Gilligan of the aliens, and he runs the show, quote unquote. And he teams up with Truman because he's fallen in love with the human race, and he doesn't want to see them die. So they team up to thwart the oncoming alien attack.
Right. There is a total destruction planned. And so Truman, being, of course, the most famous person in the history of the planet, and also the one with the most experience being on a show.
Yeah.
And then also finding out that he has been duped. So he leads the charge into outer space against these beings.
He's kind of like Katniss Everdeen.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
We also find that the creator of the Truman Show was just a lackey for the aliens. Like he was kind of in on the idea.
Ed Harris was just
Ed Harris's character, exactly.
Yeah, he was just a lackey, a pawn, if you will. Yeah.
So he finds this out. Everybody bands together. We see a couple people. In fact, what is his name? What is Ed Harris's name?
Christoph.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. Christoph is actually in the crew that goes up, right? He's kind of a double agent. We don't really know until the end of the movie. It's a third act twist that he is in on it all along. So Christoph, Truman's activist girlfriend, and actually his fake former wife and his fake former friends, they kind of lead the charge, along with, of course, some new characters, into outer space to take down this ship. There's some just big action set pieces, some dogfights. When Truman is closing in on a victory, Christoph kind of subverts his plans. Things go awry. Truman makes something, gives us a line about how nobody should be filmed, nothing should be planned. We should all be able to have free will, and he of course saves the day at the end.
I think he saves the day. This is the climax. He saves the day in a kamikaze style run, sort of like Independence Day with
Randy Quaid.
With Randy Quaid's character. But as he's wrecking the ship, he says, "Good afternoon, good evening, and good night."
Yeah, exactly.
And that's the climax of the movie.
Oh my god!
There you go.
Oh wow!
What's the title again, Matt?
The Truman Show 2, Sweeps Week.
Sweeps Week. Yeah, there you go. That's it.
Wow. Okay. So, are you pitching it to me now?
Yep.
That is so far from anything that I would have imagined. I love it. Let's make this movie.
Nice.
When I pitched this, I just thought that like if you think about it, if I could be honest for a moment, if you think about the Truman Show, the way that it ends, like that invites itself to such a world of drama, and like it fascinates me to think like how could that character possibly function in the real world, and now we know. So so thank you guys. That is
yes.
The Truman Show 2 Sweeps Week. Tiny, you're next.
Yes. This is the third one.
Yes, this is the last round.
This is my last one. Yeah, and this is also supposed to be the third entry in a franchise.
Ah,
This is Speed 3 Pop Quizzes from Home.
Pop Quizzes from Home. Interesting.
Because remember in the first one he says Pop Quiz Hot Shot.
Pop Quiz Hot
Yeah.
Shot.
Yeah.
If I could for a moment, just as a brief aside, when I was trying to brainstorm sequel ideas, I was going to put in the pod chat to you guys, but I didn't get around to it. But I was like, if you think about it, really, like Speed 2 Cruise Control is basically like that would have been something that we made up here.
Yeah.
Like,
It is.
Then, yeah.
Well, my original title was Speed 3 Fuselage of Fury. But that's too in the vein of the first two movies.
Okay.
That's action thriller.
So what was the title again?
Pop Quizzes from Home.
Pop Quizzes from Home. Speed 3. Mike, what genre should we make this?
Oh man, Pop Quizzes from Home.
Family
I think
drama.
it's a family picture.
Yeah.
Okay.
A family drama with Keanu Reeves' character trying
Keanu
to...
Reeves returns.
He
to the
returns,
series,
yes.
Oh, of course.
No Jason Patrick in this one.
Yes.
He's struggling to... He's so amped from having killed Dennis Hopper in the first movie, and he's got, again, this is a common thread in me. I don't know what this is coming back to. I don't know what this is saying about me, but he's such an adrenaline fueled person that now he has to raise a family, but he's tormented by the death of, spoilers for Speed, by the way. He's tormented by the death of his friend,
played by Jeff Daniels.
In the first movie. And so Pop Quizzes from Home. Oh, I think I just thought of a different one midstream.
Midstream.
No, that would be too much like Cameron's Revenge. Okay, Pop Quizzes from Home is that he's coaching his kids on how to pass a pop quiz. Mike, why don't you take the reins on this?
Pop Quizzes from Home is a family picture.
Mm-hmm.
And so Keanu Reeves' children, he is recently divorced, and his children want to participate in a soapbox derby, right? And so he's teaching them how to go fast in the soapbox derby, and of course he meets up with Sandra Bullock's character, who is also recently divorced from the guy in the second movie. And so they kind of reconnect.
Well, that's lovely. Yeah. Okay. I had just, and this is this isn't like this is just a we can go with your idea, but I just want to throw this out that Keanu Reeves finds out that his son has a pop quiz, but their alarm clock didn't go off, so he has to speed through town to get him to school in order to get to his pop quiz. No, that doesn't make sense because pop quiz is from home. But I was thinking like the GPS keeps reconfiguring because he keeps doing detours, so he needs to go a certain speed. Otherwise, he's not going to make it in time.
I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
I think that's pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean that's. I don't think there's really much else we can really dive into with this. What is?
No, I think that one's pretty good.
Yeah. What's the climax? What's the? Is it just man versus, himself in getting in his vehicle, or is it? Does he stay in the vehicle, or does he have to go through? We can incorporate the soapbox derby thing by saying that the car breaks down at the top of a hill, and maybe they yeah, like the hill right before the school, and the kid needs to overcome his fear, I guess, of the soapbox derby thing. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, that works.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's kind of a tough one.
Yeah. I think, should we pitch it to the studio then?
Yeah, I think it needs a little work.
Yeah.
Some script polishing.
I think you're right.
Let me tell you what I had in mind.
Okay, yes.
It was kind of like a mashup between Speed and the movie P.S. I Love You. So what happens?
Okay.
What happens is, Jack takes from the first movie, Keanu Reeves takes a job as a federal air marshal.
Okay.
And to complete the trilogy, you think, oh man, it's gonna be Speed on plane, right? Because they already did a bus and they did a boat. Logically, the next one would be a plane, right?
Right.
But Jack knows it's gonna happen, so he knows that he's not gonna make it out this time because he's gotten too old. So he sets up all of these pop quizzes for his family to solve after his death.
Jesus.
In order to find their way back together, because he ends up marrying Sandra Bullock.
Oh yeah.
And they have some kids, but throughout his traumatic career, they get divorced, and the whole family gets ripped apart, and sort of like all these other movies where the person leaves behind something. He wants to leave behind all these pop quizzes to bring his family back together, and they have to travel around and go to all these places. They solve the pop quiz, and it tells them where to go next for the next quiz, and it ends up bringing all of them together.
Aww.
It's like a family drama. I don't know.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I like that.
So that.
Yeah.
We'll go with that, yeah.
That's what I was thinking.
Nice.
Yeah.
Mike, is it you or?
Yeah.
I think it's me, yeah. Mike. So I've got 3 left, and I'm trying to decide which one. I'll tell you what. Instead of doing the 2 at the end, I'll give you all 3 names, and you guys pick the one you want to go with.
Okay.
How about that?
Sure.
Okay, the first one is the sequel to the Tom Hanks hit That Thing You Do, called That Thing We Did. There's the one I pitched in our pod chat this morning, True Grit 2, Rooster's Cock-a-Doodle-Doo. And then I had 2 names for this one, Return to Shawshank or Zihuatanejo Redemption.
Oh my god. Tiny, what do you think? Because I'm most familiar with Shawshank, obviously.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Shawshank.
I haven't seen That Thing You Do, Mike. I'm sorry.
Oh,
So first, Tiny, what title should we go with? With Return to Shawshank or Zihuatanejo Redemption? Was that the title?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say Zihuatanejo Redemption.
Thank you. I have a pitch for a plot. Okay, I don't know what genre this would be. Maybe thriller, maybe an Odd Couple style comedy. But since Red and Andy are 2 outlaws, they're 2 fugitives, they can't they can't befriend anyone else. So they've lived their entire lives in each other's company, and now it's reached a point where they fucking hate each other so much.
Jeez.
So it kind of births a lot of conflict. Like the conflict between them turns farcical and turns into a big comedy where they're like drawing. They draw a line in the sand to divide up the beach between the two of them.
Shut up. Oh my God.
And they just keep getting into little squabbles with each other because they can't stand the sight of each other. But the tragedy is that they can't break out. They can't redeem themselves of this because they're stuck with each other. What Tiny, what do you think?
It's too much like The Odd Couple.
It is. Yes, Zihuatanejo Redemption is slightly derivative.
That is like The Odd Couple. That's pretty good though. That's funny.
So what would more of the conflict be? Okay, so we have the basic premise, and the basic premise borrows heavily from a classic comedy. So how do we differentiate at that?
Some of the conflict is that Red just keeps buying things for their fishing business because he's a man who knows how to get things. But now that he has money and has a budget, he's just like, I just can get everything, and just gets everything, and it starts to piss off Andy because the company's running out of money. And Andy's like an accountant, so he's like very conscious of his money. Yes. Oh my God, that is brilliant. I love that. That's where the conflict stems from. Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so what's the resolution? What's the big climax? What's the big moment that they like? What's the big deciding factor that causes this rift? What is it that Red wants so badly that Andy just says, no, we can't afford this? They're basically a married couple, and they're dividing up. They have a joint account because they don't have any other way of making money. Right when they're in the middle of having their biggest throwdown fight, and their hands are literally at each other's necks, Rita Hayworth walks in on vacation and wants to go fishing, and it makes them think of the poster. Because it would probably be 50s, 60s at the time. Yeah, because he was there for about 20 years. Yeah. And Rita Hayworth, it'd be about I don't know when Rita Hayworth passed away. Creative license, artistic license. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. And so that reminds them of the good times. Yeah, the good times they had in prison. Yes. Reminds them of why they're there. Wow. Yeah. And that's how the conflict resolves. Okay. One bit of comedy that they and this might be a little. It is dark. A comedy, right? Yeah, I think it's a comedy. Yeah, like The Odd Couple. Yeah. Yeah. One just bit of comedy to throw in there at some point. They're living on the beach, but they kind of like maybe they use like public restrooms like at one of the establishments in inland a little bit. Mm-hmm. So they go and. They don't have like cell phones or anything like that, or they don't have anything to occupy their time. So, Red goes into, let's say Andy goes into a restroom shortly after Red has been in there, and he sees that he's carved "Red was here," and it freaks him out because he remembers Brooks. But then they just realize like, oh no, I was just bored. So yeah, that's just a bit of comedy to throw in there. So. Nice. Do we have a movie? Anything else we need to dig into, or should we pitch it to the studio? Pitch it to the studio. Mike, what do you think of the Zihuatanejo Redemption?
I'll tell you what. I'll sold if you can get the original cast back.
Okay. I think we can swing
if we can get Tim Robbins and Morgan Freeman, I'm in.
I think all we need to do is just show them the storyboards of Red drawing a line in the sand between the two of them. I think that we can get them back. There'll be no problem.
Yeah.
God.
Wow. So yeah, that's the Zihuatanejo Redemption. I like it. I like it.
Love it.
Whose turn is it? Is this my last?
I think it's yours.
I'm ending it?
Closing us out.
All right. Well, this one is Little Giants 2, Gridiron Reunion.
God.
What do you guys got for me?
Wow.
All right. So it was a family sports movie.
Mhm.
It's now a teen sex comedy.
It's a heist movie.
A heist movie.
They get back together to pull a heist.
Okay.
But what are they trying to steal? They're trying to steal.
I don't remember Little Giants at all.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Gosh, they're trying to steal the
Rick Moranis, right? Is he?
Yeah. He's the dad.
So
though.
Rick Moranis has.
For our listeners who haven't seen Little Giants is Rick Moranis and Ed O'Neill are two brothers who are compete, like they kind of have a grudge against each other. Ed O'Neill is the coach of a very pristine Pee Wee football team, and Rick Moranis takes the misfits that didn't make the cut and he creates their own team, and that leads to a scrimmage that has the town dividing between them.
Yeah.
And,
Okay, it is a heist. Ed O'Neill's character has hit it big in the internet, in internet companies, in internet stock. Right, he made a bunch of money.
Remember that he was a former football player. Sorry.
Yeah.
In the mid 2000s. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he has continued, despite whatever happens at the end of Little Giants, I don't remember, he has continued to berate and demean Rick Moranis' character. And so Rick Moranis is facing dire straits, and so he decides that to exact revenge and also to pay off his debts, he has to get his young football team together around the same time of their high school reunion to rip off Ed O'Neill's character.
Nice. It's like Ocean's 12, where they get together. Yeah, it's like Ocean's 12.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nice.
There you
And
go.
they do.
And they rip him off.
Nice.
They win.
All right, so are you going to pitch it to me then? Is that any more you need to tap into there, or do we have a movie?
Well,
think
of
we
course,
have a movie.
of course,
Let's
all
see.
all the characters play their respective roles. You know, like
Right.
Icebox is like the grease man who breaks in and does the hardcore stuff, and there's the really smart kid who does all the computer stuff and like figures out all the physics of it and everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Devon Sawa? What's his?
Devon Sawa is like the debonair con man. He's kind of like Brad Pitt. He shows up at the end, and he's like playing a character, and it's like
What is Devon Sawa up to?
He's alive apparently.
Yeah.
His career isn't,
Right.
but I don't know. I haven't seen him in anything in a
Yeah,
while.
I don't know either.
Yeah. So yeah, that's Little Giants 2.
Gridiron Reunion.
Gridiron Reunion. There you go. It's a heist movie.
I like it. I wasn't expecting a heist movie out of you guys. I got to be honest. I
What did you have in mind?
kind of pitched it as a. Let's see. I didn't really have anything in mind when I came up with the title. That was the one I was really struggling with. But off the top of my head, I would say that Gridiron Reunion would be the kids' teen sex comedy with overbearing parents who try to relive their big moment where they reconciled their sibling rivalry through vicariously through kids, but in order to get like they want to get them together for a gimmicky, like, oh, this is a reunion, like this is a replaying this with all the same kids, but all the kids are just really horned up and really anxious about that. Like there was a little bit of that with Devon Sawa, his character, but it's like these are like their like hormones are fully in like full blown, and they don't really care about the football.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like you guys. I like the heist.
Yeah.
I like it.
Ours is better.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So to wrap up, I have not been writing down the titles of these. So,
Titanic 2, Barnacles from Hell.
yes, Tiny, what was your first one?
We got
That was it.
Oh yeah, that one. Okay, let's. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's just recite the names in order from when we said it. So like I'll I'll get us kicked off. Accepted to the South Harmon Massacre. And then, Tiny, what was your first one?
Titanic 2, Barnacles from Hell.
And Mike?
Rent to the Streets.
And I had the Truman Show 2, Sweeps Week.
2 Forrest, 2 Gump.
And
Ferris Bueller 2, Cameron's Revenge.
I had Little Giants 2, Gridiron Reunion.
Speed 3, Pop Quizzes from Home.
And
I had Zihuatanejo Redemption.
Nice. So I think we've got. I think we rival Marvel's Phase 3 with this lineup, guys.
Oh, totally.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Good job all around. Tell us, listeners. Tell us what your favorite of these setups were, and tell us what you would have pitched in our stead.
I just picturing a line where someone's like, "I have an army. I have a shrimp." I don't know why. We have a shrimp.
We got a shrimp boat. Oh, that's awesome.
I don't know.
Awesome.
That's stupid.
It's something. Yeah. Before we go on to Potpourri, we're gonna do a Potpourri, right, guys? You guys up for it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, before we get to that, I just want to say that I tweeted this out earlier today, and I was really proud of it. But the tweet was, let me look it up to make sure that I get it right. But the tweet was, while kind of brainstorming this episode, the tweet was, if they make a sequel to Big Hero 6, it should just be about a tall guy who saves San Francisco from a villain. Big Hero 6 2. I was really proud of that.
Oh man, yeah.
Right?
That's something.
Yeah.
That's something.
Yeah. Yeah. Or and then someone replied with, "No, you need to be off the internet now." And then my reply was, "What about 7-2, the world's tallest serial killer?" Crickets. So yeah. So those were kind of alternates for me. But anyway, let's go to Potpourri, but before that, I'm going to play this promo for Shocktober in Irvington.
Join the Obsessive Viewer podcast on October 16th, 2015 at the Irving Theater in Indianapolis for The Obsessive Viewer presents Shocktober in Irvington Part 2. It's a one-night event screening of short horror films from local artists J.P. Leck and Snapshot Productions. There will be giveaways, raffles, interviews with the filmmakers, and so much more. All proceeds will go directly to the Irvington Historical Society. Go to shocktoberinirvington.com for more details. And prepare to be shocked.
Are we ready for Potpourri, guys?
Yeah.
It's good promo. It's good promo.
Yes, thank you to JP Leck from Elsewhere World for providing that awesome promo for us. Mm-hmm. And of course, this is Potpourri. This is the section of the podcast where we talk about whatever we want, as long as it smells good. You know, Mike, when you left the podcast on your sabbatical, when I was going through the episodes looking for clips to put into the farewell montage that I'm sure that you've listened to yet. But no, I realized
what episode was that in?
That was your last episode at the end.
The farewell montage?
Yeah.
I guess I didn't listen to that one.
I'm going to totally guilt trip you for that for months. But
I mean, I watched I listened to the first couple without me.
Huh, that's weird. Well, yeah. Anyway, what I realized was that you actually coined the whatever we want as long as it smells good.
Oh.
Yeah.
Nice.
So good job. So anyway, for Potpourri, why don't I guess I can get us kicked off if you guys don't mind.
Yeah.
Let's see. I mean, I have a couple things I could bring up, but I'll just bring up one thing, but before that, I will bring up that Tiny, I watched 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
And, it was not good. It was so not good.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it was offensively bad just from the standpoint of,
Every standpoint?
Every standpoint. Like, if you were to say that Twilight was glorifying abusive relationships and stuff like that,
mm-hmm.
I mean, like you said in 2 episodes ago or a couple episodes ago, the glorification of their relationship or whatever was it was under the guise of being this BDSM thing, which, whatever floats your boat, but that did not play out like that.
No.
It was very much a kind of controlling kind of relationship standard thing. But I will say that the scene where they negotiate the contract and she's kind of they're going through point by point. I was like, that actually puts it from a 2.5 to probably a 3 or 3.5 for me.
That was actually a little funny.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. And I did, Devil's Advocate, I actually did appreciate her growth. Like she wasn't just a, she grew reasonably well enough throughout the movie. Like she didn't put up with his crap.
She grew. I think is all you can really say.
Yeah.
I don't know about reasonably well.
Right. Well, I mean, there was some growth,
I'm kidding.
as opposed to Bella.
Yeah.
There was some character growth in her, and she wasn't just like the helpless, I'm swooning. She was like that a lot, but I don't know. It was an awful movie. I'm never going to watch it again unless you guys want to record a commentary track for it, which I would totally be up for.
Oh my god.
But the main thing I want to bring up for Potpourri, if you guys don't mind, is Seinfeld. At the end of June, it appeared on Hulu Plus for the entire series, and I've been listening to some old episodes that we've done, and I think it was the Bottle Episodes episode, of the podcast, where I mentioned I think Mike, you brought up the Chinese restaurant for that episode, and then you also brought up the parking garage episode, and I remember, or in that episode, I said if that ever comes on Netflix or whatever, I'm going to watch all of it. So. I haven't watched all of it. I'm halfway through season 3, and so I've seen both those episodes, the parking garage and the Chinese restaurant. And man, the writing is so amazing. It's so great. It's really great, and I love I'm appreciating it. From a performing level, I'm appreciating the physical comedy of Michael Richards and everything like that. Basically, what I'm saying is I'm really digging the show. I'm not trying to preface this as that, but I will say that, and this is I almost tweeted this out, but then I reeled it back, and I kind of in the course of watching this, I kind of found a middle ground here. But first of all, I'm struggling to find an actor on TV that is as bad of an actor as Jerry Seinfeld in Seinfeld.
Yeah, he's pretty bad.
He's awful, but I reconciled that by realizing okay, well, he's a stand-up, and the thing that bothers me about him, the thing that gets under my skin when I see him in the show, is that he'll deliver a line, but he'll kind of smirk at it a little bit. He'll kind of, it's this reflex thing. But and then I'm at first I was like, that's so off-putting and that's so annoying. And, but then I was like, well, he's a stand-up. He's used to performing in front of a crowd and feeding in, having an interactive crowd and everything like that. So, I mean, maybe that's just a reflex, and I'm sure that they worked on it throughout the course of the show, but it's, about midway through season 3, it's either not bothering me as much, or it's settled down enough to where it's not really registering with me. But really, that's probably my only real complaint about it. I'm really enjoying myself. I will say some of the setups and some of the conflicts are a little, I don't know. One of my, I'm thinking of the episode with, was it the pony where Jerry says something about people who have ponies or have horses. And then the person that he offended someone and she died. And so he has this big thing, he's like, should I go to the funeral because I did that? And I was like, it seemed like a weak premise, and it didn't really make me, I was like, okay, you're it's a step beyond neuroses for him, because it's okay, you don't have any obligation to go to this funeral, and it's all in your head, and it's not even portrayed that way. It's just, it kind of felt a little manufactured, but I mean, that's nitpicking at best. I still enjoyed the episode, and that's really the only time that I've had that kind of problem with it. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I'm not. It's not better than Friends for me, obviously, but I'm appreciating its standing as one of the greatest sitcoms of all time, and I'm enjoying enjoying that Hulu has provided me the opportunity to watch it.
Good. I'm glad to hear you say that. He definitely gets better. I'll say that.
Nice.
And I find his little smirk thing endearing.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I agree. I think it is amateurish, but I also think there's a realism in that that's kind of how he communicates with his friends.
Okay.
And so I kind of enjoyed the idea. It added a bit of realism, for better or worse, for me, that he would smirk after delivering a line.
Okay.
Because he's smirking after a joke. It's not that he would say something that wasn't funny and then smirk,
Right. That kind of it kind of reminds me of like SNL, like when I would see. I didn't really watch it that much or anything, but like what is
Jimmy Fallon?
No, actually no. Seth Meyers. When he would do Weekend Update. Like he'd say a joke or whatever, and then he'd just grin like so wide, and I mean,
yeah, I don't like him. I've decided.
Yeah, that one thing was off-putting enough for me, and knowing that he was like the head writer of SNL at the time, I was like, okay, that's. I mean, I don't think that he wrote Weekend Update or anything, but it was just kind of like, okay, downplay that a little bbit. But again, this is all minor nitpicking at best. I'm really enjoying Seinfeld, and so yeah.
Well, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I haven't watched a ton of Seinfeld. I've watched enough of it, but like I think Jerry Seinfeld was aware of the fact that he was not good. He was not a good actor, and he, being self-aware, I think he would sort of get out of the way of the other actors sometimes. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the storylines were about the other characters. He would kind of fall to the background sometimes, which I think again was a good thing because he was the weakest actor on the show.
Yeah.
But yeah, I haven't watched it. I really haven't watched enough to really have a solid opinion on Seinfeld. But yeah.
There was I don't remember if I mentioned this or not on a previous episode, but there was an episode where the episode with the tape where George devises this plan to change a tape on the girl that he's dating's answering machine because he called her and left her numerous voicemails, I guess would still be the name, messages on the answering machine. And like that episode, and this might be saying a lot about me, but that episode, George's arc throughout that entire episode really resonated with me and my personal experiences with relationships and stuff, because he got in his head so much, and at the end, like it didn't, none of it mattered at all.
Yeah.
And I really identify. I found a kindred spirit in George Costanza in that episode. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. That's my potpourri. Who wants to go next?
I can go.
Yeah, do it.
There's a really good movie on Netflix Instant right now, written and directed by a guy named Riley Stearns. I don't know.
Nice.
I've never heard of him before. The movie's called Faults, as in it was my fault. It's really clever, well done movie. It's about Leland Orser is the lead actor, who is famous for being a character actor. I'm not sure. I've never seen him as a lead before, but he was the lead in this. You've seen him before. He's been in so many different movies. Leland Orser is the lead, and the female lead is Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And Leland Orser plays like one of the leading experts in the world on cults and mind control, and how cult leaders use mind control to keep people in their faith, if you will. And this girl, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead, her parents come to him because she's been drawn in by a cult, and they offer him money to get her out of this cult. And it just kind of goes from there. And Leland Orser's character is like really down and out, like he's divorced and he doesn't have any money, he's broke. It's really to a comic level how desperate the guy is. Yeah, I don't want to go into any more detail because you got to watch it. It's 90 minutes, and it really kind of feels like 90 minutes. Like it feels kind of quick. but I don't think they really needed to draw anything else out. It just has this really eerie, mysterious feel to it throughout it. Like, there's something going on in the background, or there's something is not as it seems, and it's really just kind of throws you off. You're just not sure what it is. It has some twisty stuff to it. I would go into more detail, but again, I think you need to see it. I don't want to spoil anything. It's just a really clever movie, and it's about a disturbing subject that, it's not something we really think about all that often, how cults work. But this explores that notion, and it's disturbing and awesome and pretty breathtaking all at the same time. The performances are phenomenal. Both the male and female lead, Leland Orser and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, are just unbelievably good.
Nice.
Great script, good directing. It's got some cool. It's just a cool setting. Has a really a very effective setting for the plot, which is kind of a weird thing to say, but yeah, it's just a really well done movie. I had never heard of it until shout out to a guy I used to work with named Josh. He told me about it, and he really sold it, and I was like, I need to see that, and he was right. It's a really good movie.
How? A couple things. One, that's been on my radar because a couple podcasts I listen to have had episodes about it, and I'm in this funk where basically I listen to a lot of movie podcasts, like shout out to Junk Show Cinema and slash Filmcast and Now Playing and all that. But Faults is one that was covered on a couple of podcasts. I think Cinema Rolls podcast actually did it too. They're kind of hopefully they're coming back soon. But anyway, so that's been on my radar, and I believe that Riley Stearns was once married to Mary Elizabeth Winstead, or is currently married to her. But yeah, anyway, that's really interesting, and I have a question for you.
Yeah.
How does its depiction of cults and stuff like that compare to the one with Elizabeth Olsen,
Martha May, Marcy, Marlene?
There you go.
Yeah. They're kind of similar. I mean, the Faults is a little more psychological, and it's less thrillerish, I guess.
Okay.
It's more a dialogue-driven movie.
Okay.
As opposed to things going on beneath the surface. It's much more in your face. Okay. And it's not as subtle as Faults is not as subtle as Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene.
Okay.
But I'd say the acting is on par with the acting in both movies are kind of on par. Just really good performances,
nice,
especially from the female leads.
Cool. And Leland Orser, he's awesome. Yeah. I'm not going to bogart your Potpourri or anything, but I'm liking that he has done more recently, and he's more because he is a figure in some of my favorite and most disturbing scenes in like the 90s movies, like Seven, his scene in Seven. Jesus Christ.
That scene, it is amazing what he does in those like minute and 30 seconds in that movie. Just what he's capable of achieving in short bursts, short scenes. He's like a sprinter actor.
Yeah.
He's just so diverse and has so much range.
Yeah. Mike, have you seen Faults or have anything to say about Leland Orser?
I haven't even heard of it.
Nice.
Until now. Yeah.
Cool. What do you got for Potpourri then?
I'll keep mine short, both because we're running long and I'm kind of running out of steam. I saw Annie Hall for the first time.
Oh, wow. For the first time.
Yeah. In fact, it was my first Woody Allen movie ever, actually.
Wow.
I think it was my first, too. What'd you think of it?
It was pretty good. I don't think I'm a Woody Allen fan. I know the point is that he's whiny, but it was just too whiny. I just hated him so much, and I don't know. Like, if I would have seen it back then, are you supposed to kind of sympathize with this character, or are you just supposed to hate him?
I think you're supposed to associate with it a little bit, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's supposed to be relatable.
I just hate him so much.
Yeah. I think he's I know what you're saying. I think Woody Allen characters where he kind of plays himself in a way. He's just like a little bit too stereotypical, kind of like a stereotypical, kind of like East Coast Jewish guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Super neurotic and self-conscious and just to an unrelatable extreme, I guess.
Yeah.
I can see where you're coming from, but I still think his comedy is really pretty top notch, in my opinion.
I appreciated the writing. I really liked. I don't revere it as much as like everyone seems to. I've only seen it once, so it's pending a rewatch. But I enjoyed the writing. I really liked the way it opened with him just kind of talking to the audience and introing it. I liked his. I liked his energy there, like that neurotic kind of heartbroken energy, or he's trying to work things out, and that's something that's relatable to pretty much anyone that's watching it, really. But I mean, as the resident rom-com fan here, maybe it's a point that I saw it late and I didn't like grow up watching it or anything like that. But I mean, I wouldn't rank it high as that. I wouldn't rank it as high on the rom-com level as many other people do.
Yeah,
but
I do think Woody Allen's an acquired taste.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I would accredit it with as well as Diane Keaton as sort of the genesis of a certain type of character, kind of like the ideal, like
the manic pixie dream girl.
Manic pixie dream girl. Yeah, I didn't want to use the term, but
right?
Yeah, I mean that's really.
I don't even think that was coined until a film critic coined it. Early 2000s, I think. But,
right, but she's the genesis of that, and I think she's kind of the purest form of it, if you will. I think a lot of other romantic female leads have been following in that character's footsteps for the past 40 plus years.
Yeah.
So I give it credit for that, but yeah, I think it's a good movie.
Yeah, it is good. I went through a kind of a Woody Allen, not phase, but I was kind of going through a bunch of Woody Allen movies, but and I mean I didn't hit like all the major ones or like the ones that I needed to see, but I did see like there was one that he did with Jason Biggs that was kind of just okay, but it is that style does permeate through the rest of it, through the movies that I saw.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, and he's a bit diverse as a writer director too. Mike, you might enjoy some of his straight dramatic stuff. He has a few movies that are not even remotely funny. They're about murder and stuff. They're pretty disturbing, but they're written so well, and there's pretty solid performances in them. They're kind of Shakespearean in a way. You might like some of those. I can't think of the titles off the top of my head. Yeah.
By the way, Nathan Rabin or
I was
Rabin
just about to bring that up. Go ahead.
invented Manic Pixie Dream Girl in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. He coined the term after observing Kirsten Dunst's character in Elizabethtown. He described her as that bubbly, shallow, cinematic creature that exists solely in the fevered imaginations of sensitive writer-directors to teach broodingly soulful young men to embrace life and its infinite mysteries and adventures. So yeah, that's the Manic Pixie Dream Girl. Yeah.
Well, does that wrap it up?
I think so. I think that's the end of OV121. Fake movie sequels. Once again, let us know what you think of our fake movie sequels. Would you go see the Zihuatanejo Redemption or Ferris Bueller 2, Cameron's Revenge, or any of the other movies we pitched? Just so you know where to find us. We'll hit the pre-recorded outros until next week. Have a good one, guys. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for listening.
I mean, that's nitpicking at best. I still enjoyed the episode, and that's really the only time that I've had that kind of problem with it. But overall, I'm really enjoying it. I'm Mike got so offended.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that.
That's fine. Where did I lose you?
Thank you for listening to The Obsessive Viewer, presented by ObsessiveViewer.com. You can find more of our episodes at ovpodcast.com and you can subscribe to the show on iTunes, Stitcher, or your preferred podcast app. The Obsessive Viewer's theme song is An Eclipse of Events and is provided by Loudlike from their EP Mistakes We Must Make. You can find that and more great music from them on iTunes and like their Facebook page at facebook.com/loudlikemusic. Any and all feedback on the podcast is encouraged. You can email the hosts individually at Matt, Tiny, or Mike at obsessiveviewer.com or send an email to the podcast in general at podcast@obsessiveviewer.com. Check out the Obsessive Viewer blog at obsessiveviewer.com, where we post movie and TV reviews and the occasional editorial about the business of entertainment. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/theobsessiveviewer and follow us on Twitter at obsessiveviewer, at obsessivetiny, and at IamMikeWhite. If you want more obsessive content in your life, check out our sister site, obsessivebooknerd.com, for book reviews, author spotlights, and a general celebration of reading. Finally, if you're philosophically curious, check out Tiny's side project podcast, The Secular Perspective, which explores the concepts of faith, religion, and existence from the perspective of secular hosts. You can find that at thesecularperspective.com and subscribe to the podcast on the podcatcher of your choice. Again, thank you so much for listening. We love you. Be excellent to each other.